Okay, and action.
It was very much like night and day, you know. The day before, the governor kind of shut everything down. It felt like the whole idea of COVID was just like not even a reality. It wasn't real, you know. And then it was like the next day we came in, and it was just like boom, our whole world was flipped upside down. There was really nothing in place, no like infrastructure in place to handle any of this in a smooth way. From a supervisor perspective, I had a team of 6 normally. And then one day, one of my team members had to be at home with her kid because her kid's school was canceled. And she was gone for 3 months. And I had another person who had to leave for medical reasons, not COVID related, but that also sort of took us out. So my team of 6 was now a team of 4.
Last year, I was scheduled to have a hysterectomy, but because of COVID and the mandate rules dealing with elective surgery, it had to be put on hold, and I had to wait. It was supposed to be March, but I had to wait 3 months. It was scheduled for June 4th, but some elective surgeries were allowed to happen. I had it scheduled to go into the hospital, and I was dropped off at the front door by my husband, who was not allowed to come in with me. I had to go in by myself. I had surgery in the morning on Thursday morning, and was by myself in the hospital with no visitors allowed in the hospital for 72 hours. I was there along with nurses and doctors. At first, it was very quiet, being all by myself, but I come to find out that on the same floor, it was also the maternity ward. So many babies would be born throughout those couple of days. So what at first wasn't very fun being all alone. It was very joyful to hear all the babies crying, and thank goodness for FaceTime and being able to see friends and family and talk to them. But because of COVID, that's something that surgery I definitely will never forget. It was just a very weird and odd experience.
Well, the plain dealer, I think we're going to need to talk about specifics. Because they took full advantage of this coronavirus to lay off virtually everyone in the field. Those were that crossrover that was called Living.com. So the bill essentially is dead, which means they have no rights to negotiate with wages or working. And so, deliberate. And so I watched my career, as you know, at the plain dealer. To see what's happened at this newspaper, at this time, when we need information about it. There are still some good reporters working there. It's just that most people don't subscribe to the local newspapers. And those who do are older and like to get their newspaper at the front door. And they have problems as well. We're really going to need to talk about how we find the local journalism different.
COVID? I would say COVID affected my life back, especially the basketball part. Because this is not our season, the teams are used to going in, they're not like that. Our chemistry help us to get going. So let's have to work. We actually started late. Let it be close. But if I made the final win games with a high seed of playoffs, then one of our players got fired, it kind of ruined us a little bit. We had stopped for about 2 weeks. And, after 2 weeks, we came back to Cleveland Heights. They were a high team. They had been playing for a while, so they were ready. Chemistry was just higher than ours, but we were able to pull out the winners back up with. I feel maybe we started a little earlier, probably still be playing. Better record, better seed. So, yeah, COVID messed up my 3 year a little bit. High school is one of the best years. So.
Jonathan spent 27 days in the hospital before he died alone. But before he was placed on a ventilator, he wrote a note to his wife, which she read in the hospital after he died. In the note, he wrote what he wanted her to tell their 2 children, who were too young to remember their father. To his 2-year-old Braden, who has special needs, he wrote, "Tell him he's my best bud, and I am proud to be his father." To his 4-month-old daughter Penelope, he wrote, "Tell her she's a princess, and she can have whatever she wants in life." And to his wife Katie, he thanked her for giving him the best life he could have had. And then he said, "If you meet someone, don't hold back. Because if they love you with the kids like I do, and I love that for you."
Coronavirus is considered a devastating phase, as the World Health Organization declares in the global pandemic. There are now more than 126,000 cases across more than 100 countries and regions. The latest numbers from Johns Hopkins University ranks the United States 8th in terms of countries with the most confirmed cases, currently delivered on testing. We learned this morning from officials in Florida that a passenger with coronavirus arrived at Palm Beach International Airport, New York's JFK Airport, last night. Two sources tell NBC News that in a closed-door briefing, the sitting position of Congress told Senate staffers yesterday that they expect 70 million to 150 million people in the U.S. to contract the virus.
Good evening. Tonight, we're being crushed under a tidal wave of unfathomable numbers. On the one hand, over 1 million people have been infected with coronavirus worldwide since the start of this outbreak. Tens of thousands have died. Tonight, in this stunning policy reversal, New York City, joining California, is urging the general public to wear non-medical face coverings to stop the spread of the virus. New York City, reaching a critical mass, paramedics now empowered to make life and death decisions that were once considered unthinkable.
Well, the message from officials right across the United States is that the situation is dire and it is only going to get worse. As you mentioned, the data that we're seeing, Heather, is worse than it was at the peak in the spring. But what was different in the spring is that those cases were happening in one specific geographic area or in a couple of geographic areas, like New York City and the East Coast. Right now, this crisis is unfolding right across the country. I wanted to have a look at some of this data, including the number of deaths that is a record. More than 3,000 people died in the United States, according to Johns Hopkins yesterday. And then look at the hospitalization, another grand record. Right now, more than 100,000 people are in hospital. And I think that is a record. Officials say we will see that toll go up.
We absolutely received some great questions about COVID for you today. We'll get to those in just a second. First of all, let's take a quick look at the numbers. Set the stage. Where we are right now does look better. Remember, from a horrific starting point, but things are improving. See, right now, 42 states agree. It's heading in the right direction. Fewer COVID infections now than a week ago. 42 states heading down, 7 holding steady. Only Nebraska reporting more COVID infections now than a week ago. We look at it this way, the trend line, follow the red line. 53,883 infections yesterday. That's a high number. We compare it to the beginning, during the summer peak. Once you get through the horror of the winter, starting the trend line starting to trend down now. 53,000 starting to trend down. One reason for that is masking and social distancing. Another reason is there are vaccines now getting into arms. 70 million distributed to the states, just shy of 53 million actually shots put in arms. So some progress being made here. The Biden administration to take over the vaccine.
organized chaos, to say the least. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of meetings that I have about COVID. Early on in the pandemic, when we were shut down and working from home, and I was still in sports medicine, that was a very weird and interesting transition because when you think sports med, you think hands-on on the sidelines, taking angles, giving out water, that sort of thing. And suddenly that all became distant and virtual, and that was weird. And then as it transitioned into the AD role, it suddenly was, now you're making decisions and you have to make the decisions for our athletes and our sports and testing and whatnot. For a lot of the testing for athletes, like that was me doing light work and whatnot. So it's a lot more stress, but I would like to chaos anyways, so it's just another.
You're in school, you're out of school, you're in school, you're out of school. Back and forth with the average. What a challenge for parents. It's definitely a challenge for teachers. The kids, for the most part, what they have to do, be home, away from their friends, staring at their computer screens all day. They're definitely not even learning. We know that. One of the big concerns from the beginning was the different pacing that's going on. I have virtual teachers that are way ahead of brick and mortar, and brick and mortar teachers that are way ahead of virtual teachers. Virtual teaching, I think, beginning, teachers were taking a long time to teach something, to teach the standard. Since then, they've gotten better. And I think they're right where they need to be. To be honest, some kids have really done a good job of virtual learning. They've taken it and they've run with it. I think now we have to have a virtual option for parents. And these kids will sign up for next year regardless of COVID. Because they excel and really like working independently. You know, the teacher coming in.
I'm delighted to be here and delighted to shine the light on the critical importance of addressing our mental health. So as we all know, we're coming up with the year of trauma. You know, the pandemic is obvious a crisis of a virus, but it's also a parallel pandemic of mental health crisis. And what I'm seeing in my office every day right now is sort of the latest manifestation of the anxiety issues that we've been dealing with for a year. People are afraid to face the new realities of the new normal, even though we've been craving it for a year. It's causing a lot of anxiety, it's causing a lot of fear, and it's causing people to feel very vulnerable. And my message and my piece is this: there is a place for addressing mental health in the doctor's office. Mental health needs to be put into the conversation about our whole health, to be delivering meaningful health care. Right, so coping is critical, and the first thing is, I would say, we have to name this, we have to call it what it is. It's a trauma. So once we name this experience that we've all been through as a trauma, and we've all experienced trauma in some degree, whether it's, you know, losing a loved one to COVID-19, or losing your senior year of high school, we've all experienced some degree of loss.
We were scared. That would be the honest answer. I was in complete shutdown for about 5 weeks. I opened it up just before the Mother's Day holiday, which is a huge holiday for a flower shop, so that was really important. I would come into the shop just to do things around the store, just because I felt like I needed to be there. Signed in and watched every 2 p.m., wine and wine, they called it, his press conferences. Just because the information sounds so scary at the time, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. A lot of flower shops, I did not look down. I think it was about half and half. I felt like it was the right thing to do in the beginning, and then as time pressed on, I started to get, I guess, a little bit bitter that other shops hadn't, and were delivering just like Amazon or pizza delivery. And so I sort of felt like that I was going to reopen and be there at least in time for the Mother's Day holiday, which was good because the wine actually authorized the businesses to reopen around then. So I think we did the right thing. I think we were considered a non-essential. I do believe that flowers are essential for people's mental well-being, but it's not like you have to eat them or, it's not like they're going to keep you alive. So I get that part of it. I would say it was just scary. The last day that I was here before I was shut down for those 5 weeks, I had given flowers away, I had put all my buckets away, I had cleaned up, and I cried. And I'm sorry, I'm going to cry now. It was just scary. You wondered if you reopened or if they let you, but here we are.
I had to record my temperature in this log. And I realized, it was going up every day. And I couldn't even, go see a doctor to get a test, which a lot of people were suggesting. Friends and family were, when are you going to go get a test? The doctors were all, the messaging from hospitals was, don't come to the hospital unless you think you need to be hospitalized. Just at that point, numbers were getting really high. And the capacity of ICUs and emergency rooms just was not there. I think for the first few days, I didn't go in. I was just kind of trying to convince myself that I'm not sick. I'm okay. I just overreacted. I could just go in. And then I get up and I start coughing. And I realized they weren't going to let me. So stay home for the day. I think at first I didn't let myself think about how scary / depressing it all was. Making myself think that I'm not sick. And then the next week I just kind of let myself wallow. And I slept a lot. Fatigue was really setting in, and I would sleep 10 hours a night or more, and then take a nap in the afternoon. And I started to get really anxious about sleeping. Let me able to sleep because sleep is the only thing that made me feel better.
We cook, we serve, bartend, we do all of it. I applied on March 16th, like right after we closed, because the message that the governor was putting out and the way that the news was covering it was unemployment has been extended and expanded, and more people will be able to get it, and you should definitely apply. And all the people that I had talked to when I was freaking out were telling me, don't worry about it, you're expanded unemployment, just go file and you'll be fine. And then it was immediately the fact that it was denied. And I called, I started calling, didn't get a response back until hours later. It might have been the next day. After getting all my information, the representative there, the first thing she said to me was like, you're the reason why I'm so frustrated right now. I make $171.25 too little in that quarter to qualify on.
When my wife got in, took her to the hospital to quarantine her or whatever. This one they were, how many folks go to visit people who tested positive? I was, back home just praying and praying that the Lord would, take my love. And, people into my lives, it's got worse and worse. So why? I didn't want to do my wife wants to go. And after a while, I prayed to catch me, so he goes to do. We're looking at it. Too fast, and it's hard for me, especially my little boy, he's started doing it too, he's almost close. And they call me and check on me and visit. They got their own kids all over. So I took this kid, I said, they're running around without your mask on. The virus is real. What does it do?